Hello and welcome everybody to my Byron Murphy prospect breakdown. Byron Murphy II, the 6'1", 308-pound interior defensive lineman from Texas, is truly one of my favorite prospects in the 2024 NFL Draft. But as always, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, follow my Twitter and my TikTok, and support my Patreon if you want access to my 2024 NFL Draft board. He was a 4-star recruit from the 2021 high school class, and from 2021 to 2022, he showed flashes of being an elite interior defensive lineman in a backup role. In 2022, when he played in almost 400 snaps, he got 20 pressures and 1 sack. But he had his huge breakout year in 2023. For his peripheral statistics, he had 5 sacks, 45 pressures, which was 5th in the FBS, and 36 quarterback hurries. But advanced statistics would probably say he was the best pass rushing interior defensive lineman, being first in pass rush win rate at 19.6, having a 9.6 pass rushing productivity rate, again first, and a 91.5 PFF pass rush grade. Those numbers are absurd when you factor in the amount of double teams he faced, and when you consider he had a 30-70 split between the A and the B gap. Murphy was also named the 2023 Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. He was second team All-American and first team All-Big 12. To me, Byron Murphy isn't just one of the best pass rushers for an interior defensive lineman in this draft, he's one of the best pass rushers in general. He is truly a pass rush monster. He's a monster because he has elite quickness and explosiveness off of the line of scrimmage, and great power and finesse as a pass rusher. He also has elite change of direction and hip flexibility for the position, and he's got a great motor as well. His compact frame at 6'1", 308 allows him to convert his quickness, strength, athleticism, and natural power to generate a strong punch to push offensive linemen back. He also has positional versatility where he can win from the zero tech or the nose tackle position all the way to the 4-eye or the inside shoulder of a tackle. While pass rushing, he uses his quick hands to win with swipes and pull and pushes, and as a run defender, he's effective at clogging up gaps against runs. The major weakness that everybody has on Murphy is he is a bit smaller for an interior defensive lineman / nose tackle at 6'1", 308, and his frame is pretty much maxed out. He's not really going to get any heavier, and he really shouldn't either. Due to being a bit undersized, he can get overpowered at times, especially with double teams, and since he gets double teams at such a high rate, it can wear him down over time. I also think that sometimes he can be over aggressive and miss time rushes and miss time tackles. He had an 18.5 missed tackle rate in 2023. But other than the potential measurement issues, I don't really have that many defined weaknesses for Murphy. And with that being said, let's get right into the film breakdown. For the first game of the film breakdown, I'm going all the way back to the Texas versus Alabama upset. Here, Byron Murphy is running from the 2-eye, works from the outside to the inside, rips the offensive lineman hands away, and he falls down, and it's registered as a pressure. On this play, Murphy's going to get double teamed. The center is going to cut his lower half, but Byron Murphy's able to stay up and finish the tackle for a loss. Here, Murphy is working from the nose tackle position, and look at him, and then just chop the lineman down, but then the help guard comes in and does pin him down, but he did win on the initial rush. Here, Murphy works from the 2-eye, but he's going to run a stunt here. Look at Murphy 90 turning the edge, but he's not able to finish the play. He should have sacked Milroe there. Look at Murphy here. Pop up, swim, address where the runner's going, and then clean that gap. And then once you're wrapped around him, just finish the play. Here's a play action play where everybody is shifted. Murphy, keeping his eyes on the quarterback, spins out of the guard's reach and is able to get a clean hit on Milroe, forcing his timing off and misses the throw. I swear in the Alabama game, they must have double teamed him like 15 times. They either double teamed him or there was always a help guard. Here's a play where either the guard is helping the edge or the center. He likes to help the center because Byron Murphy's pretty much already getting free. Here in the Iowa State game, Murphy is rushing from the nose. Quick step off of the line of scrimmage allows him to get to the quarterback fast. Again, it's a shame, but Murphy gets double teamed at such a high rate. And here's an example of where his leverage is just not able to be reached. It's not super fair to judge him every single time he gets double teamed, but 2 guys on 1 is going to take advantage of his leverage every day. Like here's another play where the running back is the help blocker. But for Murphy, it's not going to matter. He's just going to power through the guard and hurries the quarterback and ends up forcing him to throw it away. Here's a play where Murphy actually really loses this one-on-one rep. His leverage and balance is all off, and that's why the guard was able to throw him out the way. But nah, Murphy's gonna get up and keep the play going and ends up getting registered here for a sack. Even on losing reps, Murphy will still make something happen. Here we get a really nice rush off of the line of scrimmage. Boom, quick off the line, swim move, keep on working past the center, but the quarterback gets the ball out early. And on this play, it's just Murphy's power, leverage, and motor on full display. He's just going to overpower the lineman completely, force him into the quarterback. This is registered as a half a sack, but Murphy really does all the disrupting here. Alright, here we got some film I found on Twitter from the Washington game. Murphy's gonna go on a one-on-one rep versus this guard. He's gonna keep his hands moving and active, forces Penix to speed up, and end up taking the check down. And then here's another rep where he's gonna be double teamed on this play. The guard pawns him off on the center, but nope, Murphy's gonna swim and get past, and forces Penix to readjust. And here for the last play, Murphy is just gonna clog up the gap and get past the guard. Good tackle for loss. Another fun thing about Murphy is he can score some offensive touchdowns. He was lined up as a fullback on this receiving touchdown against Wyoming. And then going back to the Washington game, here's just a fullback dive with Murphy just getting in there for the rushing touchdown. My two player comparisons for Byron Murphy II are going to be Grady Jarrett and Aaron Donald. Grady Jarrett is the closest to Byron Murphy II. In terms of build, they're very similar. Grady Jarrett's 6'0", 305, Murphy's 6'1", 308. Jarrett was a very disruptive pass rusher in his prime, as well as being a really solid run defender, which I think he is better at Byron Murphy at doing. They also really played the similar 30-70 split between the A and B gap. But really in terms of pass rushing ability, he does have a hint of Aaron Donald. The way they win with their strength, speed, and leverage is very similar. They also employ some similar pass rush moves. But of course, I'm only getting a hint of comparison because obviously Aaron Donald is a generational interior defensive lineman. Donald is smaller in weight by 20 pounds. He's also much faster and quicker, and he does not play the A gap at all. But in terms of pass rushing prowess, they're both pretty similar. And I'm giving Byron Murphy II an astounding 6.6 prospect grade, which is a mid-first round grade. He is currently 9th on my 2024 NFL Big Board, above all edge rushers and most offensive linemen. And he's also my interior defensive lineman 1. I think he has the potential to be a top 10 interior defensive lineman, especially as a pass rusher, and I think he does have Pro Bowl potential. Out of my top 10, I think he goes last, but I do think he goes within the top 25 picks. He can go as early as the Raiders and probably as late as the Cowboys and the Texans. In the last 10 or so years, the league has been flooded with insane interior defensive lineman talent. Guys like Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, Quinnen Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Jeffrey Simmons, DeForest Buckner, Javon Hargrave, and so many more players have just came into the league, been drafted, immediately done well, and have made multiple Pro Bowls. Even guys like Jalen Carter, who was my #1 overall player in the 2023 NFL draft class, made the Pro Bowl last year. And I think that Byron Murphy II is in line to be one of those next great interior defensive linemen. And I think he'll especially become one of the best pass rushing interior defensive linemen in the league in the next couple of years. I am a really big fan of Byron Murphy. Whenever I was watching him at Texas, he was always making an impact within the trenches, and he was one of my favorite players in all of college football last year. He was all over the field when I watched Texas against Alabama, Oklahoma State, and Washington, as well as dominating in the Baylor game. Murphy was one of the first guys I watched film on for the 2024 NFL draft all the way back in November. And as a prospect, I think he has a ton of potential, even more than guys like Tavondre Sweat or Jazon Newton. And I believe that I have him higher than anybody else on my big board. Of course, he's currently 8th on my big board, and I think that's higher than anybody else has him. The highest I've ever seen him on somebody else's board is probably 12, and I'm 4 spots ahead of them. My equivalent to Murphy last year was probably Zay Flowers, where I had Zay Flowers 6 on my 2023 NFL draft board, and he ended up leading the 13-4 Ravens in receiving yards. So hopefully Byron Murphy comes into the league and immediately shows everybody why he should have been higher on everybody's board. But that's gonna do it for my prospect breakdown on Byron Murphy II. Let me know your views on him as a prospect. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. As always, follow my Twitter, follow my TikTok, support my Patreon if you want access to my 2024 NFL draft board, and read my full scouting report on Byron Murphy on my Substack. Link is in the description. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video.